Original cast.
I love that awkward pause where it shows us for like 2 seconds on every live stream. It's like, why can't they get that right?
And when that last time I called you loser, that's what they think we think about each other, losers.
Wait, that happened?
Yeah,
You
you got
did.
mad at me not the last stream because I wasn't on it, but the other one, you were just like, that was the last thing. That's the first thing people are gonna see. It's like, yeah, we're all losers, you know.
Okay. At least I wasn't calling other people losers. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
You know what? It was because we were having a little pre-show powwow.
Yeah, James.
But I'm
Free
glad
show
you're here,
powwow.
James. Glad you're here, Backato.
Yeah, Backato. Are you getting that new green omnibus? You'll be happy. I placed an omnibus order with 2 green omnis in it last night. And I did it because you inspired me, Backato. So
You're not color coding orders now?
well, yeah, keep all my red ones, all my red books together.
Which you're welcome.
Yeah, that is true. My DC section, I organized the Batmans and nothing else. So it goes like on the second shelf, it goes Young Justice, Catwoman, JLA, Lucifer 1, Harley Quinn, the Justice League by Scott Snyder's, 0 Hour. Yeah, I don't even have the Lucifers together. So I only want a gallery edition or an artist edition of his Christmas book. So give me the Frank Miller Christmas book.
Batman Noel.
When is Jordan going to buy the complete Frank Miller collection? It's a standard size hardcover with a ribbon. And then it has...
I already own all the work I want to own from Frank Miller in absolute. I'm good. I don't need Batman Noel.
So you're saying if that... there's no other Frank Miller book that could come out in an absolute that you would buy? You wouldn't get Superman Year...
Is it not? Is
Batman
it not the
Noel's
Christmas story that I'm...
Yeah, no, it's a different... Batman Noel's different. That's the really... But there is a Christmas Frank Miller Batman story.
Yes. I was about to say, it's Noel's Libermejo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has the really aggressive artwork. Kind of stresses me out. But everyone, introduce yourselves in case we have any new people watching. I'm Jake from the Brave and the Boys, and I'm happy to be here. You know, I had a reading heavy week. I finished 3.5 omnis this week, which is like I haven't read all year. So it feels great. I deleted the Magic the Gathering game off my computer, and I'm reading comics again. So it's great. And who are you all?
Go ahead, Jordan.
You want me to go first? Okay. Yeah. I am Jordan from The Brave and the Boys, as well as technically Brave Boys Beyond. Well, that channel's defunct currently, but hopefully that changes this year. Yeah, you can find me here or there, but I'm going to toss it over to the best co-host I have.
Thanks.
Oh. Yep, I'm Chris. I am the co-host of Marvel Alliance, which you can catch on the Geekverse Podcast YouTube channel at 9:10 Eastern Standard Time every Thursday night. And as always, happy to be here with you all, sharing in the love of, you know, this collecting frenzy we have.
Hell yeah. Jake is working on a document.
Mitch sent over his requests of what books he'd like for the rest of the month, courtesy of our sponsor, OPB. And one of the books on that list was Absolute Mr. Miracle. And I'm like, everything else is a yes, but that one's going to be me. That's my most hyped book of the year, dude.
Yeah, that comes out not this week, but the coming week. So 2 weeks.
Shouts out to our friend Labruski.
Hey, Labruski.
When am I going to come back on your show with Tyler? He just sent back a question mark and a sad face. There we go. I'm sorry, Mitch. But you can get all the Usagis that you want. We need a Dark Knight Strikes Again artist edition with the color separation. That's the only book I'd use the word garish to describe the coloring.
Taylor is going to make that happen. He's going to will that into existence.
We haven't picked a date yet, but we've picked a month for the Dark Knight Strikes Again. Is it a masterpiece or is it terrible stream? Between me and Taylor, I don't know. I mean, title to be determined. We're working on it.
A subjective analysis. Well, you'll underline it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we only have, I guess, 25 minutes to go, and Chris has 800 books to haul.
No, I don't have 800 books, but I wasn't on last week, so that was a small pile. Now the pile has steadily grown with stuff. Who knew the holidays would block off a lot of shipments to all appear literally in one day?
Let's see. And Jordan, do you have anything to haul?
Nothing to haul, but I could talk about some of the books I've read this week.
Okay.
Dang! Once he's invited to one of my shows.
Oh, there you got called out.
There we go.
And Phenomenal does bring up the point. You might want to
don't forget to smash that. I think that's my favorite thing I've ever done on recorded content is when my wife grabbed the Lego Thor hammer and goes smash that like button.
When will DC make a weird War Tales omnibus? Hey, they're actually making omnibuses at this point, so there is more of a possibility than there was 2 years ago.
And dude, when we just got the news, it's gonna be 3 Suicide Squad omnis.
I know.
Like omnis that we've been. It's not just random omnis. It's omnis that we've been clamoring for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where's the Sergeant Rock omni? I've been missing out on Sergeant Rock.
Hey, there's rumors of a Sergeant Rock movie coming out. So
with possibly Daniel Craig taking on the role.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That may be rated R. Maybe.
I would hope so.
Yep. All right.
I hope they put a GI Robot in it.
He likes killing Nazis. I do know that. All right. So recently, this just came fresh yesterday. So X-Men wrote Onslaught. Interestingly enough, Onslaught was the era when I started my first time bowing out.
Okay.
But like with everything, I do find gems in this, and there are some things I enjoy with this, and I'm going to make sure I have it up until the point where I bowed out and then pick back up again.
So you're not going to collect areas you've never read before?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
That's fair.
Okay.
Because I have Marvel Unlimited for that, and when I did dive back into it, I said, yes, I'm glad I bowed out. I'm okay.
Jake, don't you see what his thing says? It says rational buying since 1984.
True. He did judge some of the books I got on my order last night. One of the books.
I didn't judge your choosement of it. I said I was more preparing you for what you were about to read.
This is an interesting question because Marv Wolfman likes to joke when people go, I love reading everything from Crisis and on. And he's like, that's a weird place to start reading. That's a weird place. That's like the end of so much stuff. But also kind of feel like besides maybe like the Flash of Two Worlds, there's not a whole lot you have. I mean, you could just read Crisis. You won't know who 99% of the characters are, but I also think it doesn't matter. It's just giant shots of them in the background most of the time,
And before you jump into Absolute Crisis, just accept the fact is that when I read Crisis, I didn't know a lot of them at that point, but there are great other like Comic Historian. He's done great stuff with Crisis. May rest in peace. But like that stuff's still out there. So if you ever need breakdowns of things, and if you feel like you're missing, I do warn you, I love Crisis on Infinite Earths. It is very wordy. It is not necessarily in the sense of you're probably. If you can read it all in one sitting, I can, but I love it. So don't be surprised if you need a break and put it down after a while because it's great, it's amazing, but for a modern reader, it can be a little of a
But like, if you have to read it, the Absolute is a pretty rad way to read it.
It is.
You know what I mean?
And you get the annotations to it, so you can figure out those characters you may not know.
One of the biggest things that I try to I dropped my wedding ring. One of the biggest things that I try to remind people is that quote that like every comics is someone's first. I mean, you even look at like Near Mint Condition. His first DC comic was in the middle of Crisis on Infinite Earths, So you don't have to know everything, and if you have a question, you can reach out, or you know what I mean. Or sometimes it's fun to like, not know things and learn them down the line and reread it in 6 months and have more context.
Dude, that's the best feeling when you have no idea and you finally learn this history behind a character or behind a topic you never knew about. Oh, it's so satisfying.
I keep my fingers crossed for you. Phenomenal. You will get your book,
And pre-order Road to Onslaught, but it's held on the weather. They're saying the 25th, praying it doesn't get held up any longer than that. I just hope that, I pray that it gets there safely. With weather, you can never know. But luckily, I'm assuming you probably have some extra stuff to read in the meantime. So as long as my book gets there safely, I'm okay if it takes a little longer, but I know the feeling, man. And
So-
shouts out to one of our earliest viewers and friends. You guys, I made it from Facebook. And surprisingly, Miller Swamp Thing was not on that order. That was on a different order. But I did get New 52 Swamp Thing, and I got Nancy Who Swamp Thing. What is it?
Nancy Collins.
Nancy Collins.
She's
Yep.
the one who follows up after Miller. I mean, not Miller.
Nice.
After more.
After more. There we go. Sorry.
And our friend Cieto, Crisis on Infinite Earths is a top 3 event of all time. Not really up for debate, and you can jump right in.
I mean, again, it's not. You just, like we said, accept the fact that there are going to be some characters you may have no context for, and that's okay. You can get the gist of it. Apparently, the hot item of that nobody saw coming in the sense of going out of print.
Wow, and what perfect condition that came in from Organic Price Books.
Aw.
I
that's
love this
phenomenal.
cover. It's a standard edition cover. I've got the standard edition of Volume 1. I like the juxtaposition of Matt doing the same thing that Electra is doing in this one. So
And
I'm gonna
I
throw a
can
plug in.
yes,
Plug for that book. Go check out the OPB Instagram if you want to see both covers side by side, because I snapped all of those photos and I definitely
Nice.
know we have that up there.
and I can say that I read that book this week and loved it, and I'm just on a whole Daredevil binge, but I decided to read the books backwards instead of going in continuity order from where I left off. I was like, you know what? I'm not making content on Daredevil. I'm gonna read the runs in the order that I want to. So like you're supposed to. I went Zdarsky, then Wade, then Soul. You know, that's the right way to read Daredevil.
And this is I just looked at the back material for it, and I am so excited to finally read this.
Hell
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
Amalgam Jim Lee cover. Oh, love it. Can't believe it actually exists.
I know. I thought they all burned down in a fire, like I told everybody.
That's what
That was, in case anyone's listening, that was a joke. There was a rumor that I said they all got burned down in a fire, which I did not say.
I know people hate on this cover, but
But we're cover twins.
Oh, we are cover twins. You're right. I know a lot of people hate on this cover. I know it's not the most. I can agree, it's not the prettiest thing to look at, but I was not a fan.
But
of
neither are you.
I wanted. Yeah, no.
I'm just kidding.
But I like the whole team being front and center at that point. I'm very happy that this is coming back into print. I think this was long overdue to come back into print, and we pretty confident that we're going to get a volume 2. So
I didn't say read Brubaker before Bendis. I went Bendis, Brubaker, Zdarsky, Wade, Soul. And yeah, Chris, let's see if we can bump your juice up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Mic settings. I think you came in real hot one time. So
All right.
Oh, there we go. Is that good?
Is it better?
Is that
Yeah.
too good? Chat, let us know if that's too
Let us
loud.
know. Sorry about that. Awfully low. But thank you for letting us know. All right, so there we go. Scott Pilgrim,
Hell yeah.
the color edition. I've got
That
the
was
black. I've got the black and white in soft cover. So, but I hear this, and I agree. Upon looking at it, this is the first time I've seen the color editions up close and personal. And yeah, this is one that I get when Brian O'Malley did it in black and white because money saved, and it was really cool. But seeing this in color, this has always been meant to be in color.
Chat, let him know if he should also get the black and white version of the box set.
Nope, I'm good. Only so much room. All right, the last thing I'll show off is more not necessarily because I am a card playing game, but because I'm a fan of this universe. This came in, I backed it on Kickstarter. The Massive Verse card fighting game.
Heck yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
So yeah, so it's out there. It's been out there for a little bit. Kickstarter's just started shipping a couple weeks ago. But the cool thing is we got like incentives like holographic editions of the images and the cards. So I've got to find a friend to play with.
Hey, we can play when I come visit you.
That's true. We can, because you're also gonna have to set up a new Calyx for me in order to
Oh
pay back
no. I actually feel like I'm great at setting up calyxes. Like I just get my shoe and I bang it in.
So, but yeah, Labruski, yeah, just let me know. Give me.
Sure, dude.
Yeah. I'm always about
That'd be
more
fun.
heads up I get, the better at that point. But yeah, I'm always open to come on people's shows. Absolutely. Jake already gave the thumbs up. So if it passed Jake's muster, that
I don't know. He was like, he was like, we were going through the different websites and what people might want to buy for Black Friday. And for some reason he highlighted every naked girl cover on full screen. And I was like, oh my God, this is not what I'm allowed to show on my streams. But other than that, it was cool. And if Tyler vouches for him, we vouch for him.
That's right.
But yeah, that's my past 2-week haul. So a lot of stuff.
Jake, you have a haul to show off?
I don't think so. I have things in transit and things that have labels printed, but I don't think I have anything new since last week. I just been reading.
And I'm same exact way. Same thing.
What? Don't you have didn't you have a Scott Pilgrim box set?
Didn't I show that? Not last week, but the week before?
I don't think so. You're never on the show.
I'm literally here.
Chat.
I have the same Scott Pilgrim box set. It's down over there. I'd go get it, but I have a table full of Pokemon cards that I've been organizing since yesterday evening.
Yeah, why isn't Chris in the Brave and the Boys Discord?
Sorry. There's too many social platforms to keep track of.
That is true.
It's fair.
And not for want of trying. I'll tell you what, I'm actually reading. This was a blind buy, but I've heard too many good things, and we have a mutual friend that sold it to me. And it went after my heart as a former social studies teacher, saying, you like counter history, right? But you never read. I just finished reading the first book of Manifest Destiny. Wow, that was a wild ride, and I'm already getting ready to start book 2.
I need to get book 2.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It was Mitch sold it to me perfectly, and it's exactly what I was hoping for. So,
did he sell you his copy, or did he just sell you on the book? Because
sell me on it.
Mitch's library is a revolving door in the best way possible. Finally pulled the trigger and ordered my first 2 DC Finest.
Oh, okay.
0 Hour and Batman Year 1 and 2. I like one of those books a lot more than the other. I will say this though, that 0 Hour is iconic, and I hope we get an absolute someday, and I know we never will. But I'm so happy that book's getting some love. Jordan had to read all of it. And tell us your thoughts.
0 Hour is 100% a required reading if you want to keep up to date with all continuity of DC. Other than that, I like some of the tie-ins. Some of the tie-ins are really cool, like when you get to see all the Batmans from the different eras, because it has to do it all with time.
Don't spoil too much. He hasn't read it yet.
Okay, it has to deal with time, and that's all.
What was your least favorite tie-in?
I probably
they're like wacky teams that you didn't even know who they were. They were like the Team Titans or whatever. You read your first Team Titans.
It was Darth Star. I'm trying to remember the name of the team. I'm blanking on it so bad. But yeah, there's the Legion that has to do with the Legion. This was the first time I ever read a Legionary book, or a Legion book, I should say. So yeah, if you've never read Legion and you jump into this, it's a lot.
I just loved that book was out of print.
To say about Legion, it's a lot.
I love how out of print that book was for so long, and then people got like stoked that it came back, and I feel like they didn't know what they were getting into. But we are well aware of the man with the best mustache in collected editions YouTube.
Yes,
and he will be a guest on this show sometime in February.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we love us some Tyler.
Jake, did you talk about the books that you read this week already?
I guess briefly. But I decided to learn from Jordan. So Jordan said he's been doing an hour of comic book reading every day this year. I don't know if he's set to that, but I realized that I keep waking up at like 8:35 when I start work at 8:30. So I'm like, you know what? I need a morning. It's when you work from home, like you feel like it's hot. I know I'm trying to section off a morning. So I started waking up at 7, and grabbing, sounds so degenerate, grabbing my morning Celsius. I set a timer on my phone. I turn my phone on to do not disturb, and I just read for an hour. And if at 30 minutes I'm a little tired, I stop. But if at an hour I want to keep going, I still stop, because I think if I do that and I have breaks throughout the day, I don't get burnt out on. It's when I try to read too long in one sitting that I get burnt out. So I tore through Zdarsky Daredevil, and there definitely was some things that I missed. I was like, oh my gosh, like I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but I was like all this stuff with like Kilgrave's kids. I didn't even know Kilgrave had kids. So there was definitely there's definitely a lot of things that I didn't know, but I told myself this is what I want to read, even though it's not the encyclopedia way to read it, but I'm really trying hard to read more for myself and not just for content this year. And for so long, because we're so DC focused, I feel like I have to read a DC book that I'm going to make content on. And I forgot how rewarding it was to just enjoy something and not feel like I needed to take notes or write a script about it or whatever. So I did that. And then I did Mark Waid, which is completely different. And I do not understand people that say Mark Waid's Daredevil is too light, because I always feel like the most dark stuff happens in the Mark Waid Daredevil book. Like it deals with systemic oppression and institutionalized racism and
PTSD.
A dear friend dealing with cancer. Like it is absolutely intense. And I love the fact that, Daredevil is trying to be a little more positive, but it's also like, it's a struggle. He's striving to be better and be different than he's been in the past. And I think that's something that's like, and he gets tested by it, like, and I think it's really interesting. I'm on to the second volume. And the art style is super unique. The tone is super unique, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, I think that two things you say that point. People always like putting out there the Christmas sweater that he has at that point,
or the bra that she wears later on,
and it's the art and the color that people latch onto, and that. And again, I think the biggest thing where that they get that mistone, but they're missing the point. Like, this is the run that comes after Shadowlands. Matt is in a very dark place, and if you don't understand that going into Wade's run, you're going to misunderstand what's going on internally with Matt. It's not about trying to be even a better person. It's him dealing with some serious stuff that just went down in his life that totally uprooted everything about himself.
The thing that was familiar to me is before I collected comic books, I had a friend who collected editions, and he's kind of the one that got me into comics. He let me borrow, back when this was like one of the few omnis that existed, the Bendis Daredevil 1 and 2. And then he gave me, because I guess the Brubaker omnis didn't exist, so I have that big Bendis cliffhanger. And then he gives me the single issue that starts Mark Waid's run. So it goes from the cliffhanger to like him kissing the bride and fighting the Spot. And I was like, I feel like I'm missing something in between here, but that's all I ever read. So I hadn't thought about that since high school. I was a sophomore back then. And then I reread this Mark Waid run, and I read it, and I was like, oh, I've read this first issue, but I hadn't read anything back that. But oh my God, it's haunting sometimes. Like what happens with the Spot, like a new character called the Coyote that's related, was messed up, bro.
Like Reed Soul's run, Muse is also one of the most messed up villains in
which
Daredevil's
is
history.
What they're pulling from in the new show, right?
Correct. Muse is one of the main villains in Born Again.
To give even more context to my Daredevil experience this week, I am watching the TV show with my wife for the first time, and she's super invested. We're on episode 9. And
are you doing the full Netflix?
Oh no, I can't sit through Iron Fist again.
Second season was better. I will say this. I will defend second season up and down. Second season was better. I'm not saying it was great. I'm just saying it was better in comparison to the first.
I will say though that I'll probably do all 3 seasons of Daredevil, maybe the first season of Jessica Jones, because that was one of the first things I've ever read was Alias. But I don't know. I don't know if I have Luke Cage in me again. I don't know if I have the Defenders showing me again. But it was fun because she goes, wait, isn't this the guy from Spider-Man and She-Hulk? And I was like, yes. She's like, it's a very different tone. I'm like, that's Daredevil.
I'll tell you what, that first trailer that came out this week for Born Again made me feel made just like the Rocket chills. Absolute chills.
Shouts out to our friend. Hello.
Mhm.
Is that Cohen's Comics? And then our friend
Yep.
Kenneth, who's probably getting pumped for the summer of Superman.
Yes.
And yeah, was there
That's a
just
big
the
part of it.
one issue with Allred's art? Was there with when he like it's like the flashback with Stiltman?
Yeah,
That's the
I
only
think
one that has that was phenomenal art for a
Stilt
Daredevil book.
Man,
Yeah,
the
it's
classic
Stiltman.
Daredevil. Wow. I know I've only read Silver Age Daredevil at this point, which is crazy to me.
I think he's
Ooh.
read Daredevil Volume 1.
Yeah.
But
It's
I love when
a
Daredevil
little rough.
references things like in Zdarsky when he's playing chess with Mr. Fantastic. He's like, he was one of my early clients. And
He
things like that.
was. It was like issue 3 or 4, I think. Yeah. That's awesome.
And then
I
San Fran,
oh,
yeah,
was
he
there
does go
more?
to San Fran.
Yep.
And then I've had most of the Daredevil stories in trade paperback. And then I have every run of Supergirl except for New 52. Didn't enjoy too much edgy. And I have
Oh, I
every
love
run of
it.
Supergirl. Oh, there we go.
I
And you were
love.
saying, Jordan?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Jordan.
I'm glad I inspired Jake to start reading more because that was one of my goals this year. I didn't really set out a New Year's resolution beyond like just, improve myself in general. So I've been
And
cutting
trust
some
me,
of my
there's lots
habits.
of things he can improve on.
Ooh, you first, buddy. So I've been cutting a lot of my bad habits, which has made it easier for me to like wake up earlier in the morning. So like whereas Jake wakes up at 7, I wake up at 6 to get an hour reading in as the first thing I do in the morning.
It's
Um
very Coleman Domingo, very much of you, because if you've ever seen, watch the Actors on Actors between him and Kieran Culkin, because he talks about, I got a 5:30 wake up call, I'm waking up at 3:30. Kieran's like, why? He says, he's like, why would you do that? Saying, because I need about 2 hours to get all this together and have me time. I'm the same way. I'm exactly the same way. Like, I'm not going to wake up that insanely, like that much, but I wake up probably about 2 hours before I need to go to work because I work out. I have my me time. So I respect that,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah. So because of that, I've been absolutely demolishing books recently. So here's a list of the things that
Oh,
I've read since January. Some of them are for book club, so go check out book club from the Raven the Boys Discord. So I read The Fourth World Omnibus, Jack Kirby. I
Oh,
read
wow.
Klaus.
that little thing.
You started strong, man. Wow.
Yeah.
You got
I
to make your
started
first mountain the tall one,
And
right?
that you finished it too. Bravo.
it, it's bronze. It's I'm technically gonna call it the Bronze Age. It takes place during that weird time frame of the 70s and then ends in like 83 because of a huge gap in the run. It was really good. I actually like Fourth World quite a bit, but
The Fourth World Absolutes are some of my favorite in my collection. I love those so much.
Will you upgrade to the absolutes now, or do you want to keep the Omni?
oh, I think I'm okay with the Omni. I'm good
I
with
respect
it.
it. I respect it.
So Fourth World, I read Klaus, which we read that for
Mhm.
book club.
Can we tell Chris what Bat Cato described Klaus as? Because it was probably the funniest thing.
Okay.
I've never
Go for it.
LOL'd so hard. Are you ready for this? This is Bat Cato,
All right.
our friend Bat Cato. Klaus is just Footloose, but with Christmas instead of dancing.
That's not too fairly far off at that point. That's not. It's not total.
He's like, he goes to a town. The town's depressed. They're not allowed to celebrate Christmas.
It does have merit. It does have merit. Bravo, Bat Cato. I see you, and my hat's off to you.
Your
I
Santa
read-
hat, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I read Richard Stark's Parker, the Martini Edition, Volume 1.
So good.
Absolutely phenomenal. I finished that in a day. I started
Yeah,
and
as you
finished
should.
it.
And
Well, I mean,
did
I
you-
feel like
but-
the
but
first
did you read-
story has
did you
no
read-
words in it.
Well, did you read the back material? Because that's where that collection actually shines. Is all that backup material that they did.
Yes, so I read The Hunter, which is the first story, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, my God, is it gorgeous? The first open, like Jake said, the first like 5 pages, no dialogue. It's just Parker going
Yep.
into the city, recovering, trying to get like stable again from something that happened to him. I'm not gonna say what it is because that's a spoiler for later.
Yep.
But gorgeous. I even read the foreword of that book. Gosh,
Oh,
it
you
was
have
a
to read the
journey.
forward on that, but there's so
Yeah.
much context.
Yeah.
I will say I like Last Call better. I think I like overall. Like I think The Hunter is his most iconic story, but
Mhm.
I love the stories overall together, like the sum of them, more in Volume 2.
And then after that, I read Strange Adventures by Tom King, Geiger, Volume 1, and for book club, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
All right.
And so I have been demolishing books for the
I love
last
that after
2-3
Fourth
weeks.
World, he was like, now let's go to 6 short books.
Yep.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can't just read 1,500 pages and jump into another omnibus right after that.
a couple of years ago, I started getting into like just reading challenges and things like that. And the last time I did a reading challenge was 2 years ago, and it almost broke me of enjoying reading. I didn't. It just became more of hitting a number than me enjoying it. So I don't do reading challenges. I don't even do Goodreads anymore because my goal with myself is I just want to read when I can, how I can, and I enjoy it a lot more because when I do sit down and finally get a chance to read at the end of the day, even if it's for just 10 minutes, I enjoy it. It's more
Which, Chris,
fulfilling to me.
I'm 100% the same way. I've burnt myself out multiple times where I take like a month or two off after reading 6, 7, 8 books in a row,
Yeah.
which is why my current project now is organizing my Pokemon cards. So this is my break from reading for the next 3 days.
Shouts out to Big Stu in Orlando.
Yep.
Thank
Glad
you
you're
so
enjoying
much,
it.
man. Guys, we have a tough thing to do this week. We have a slideshow with like only one book I think is noteworthy. Like I struggle to find 3 book covers for the thumbnail. Like
It doesn't mean this. We always we focus on what OPB is putting out at that point. So there is technically more coming out this week. It's just what we're carrying in OPB at that point that we're focusing on.
Yeah, it's a light week.
Next week's a biggie though. Next week's a biggie.
I would say we can just go through the ones that we're interested in. I'm just enjoying talking comics. So chat, let us know. Do you want us to go through every book in the one or just the 2 that are noteworthy or keep talking comics?
There's only 9.
Know.
Let's go through them.
Let's go through it.
Yeah.
So off the bat, this one looks rad.
Well, first
the
you have to share
Treasury
it.
Edition. Oh.
Jake's gonna describe what he's doing that I put the hard work to putting it in there. He's just gonna describe it to everyone.
Who else needs to see it? I'm seeing it, Okay, present. Oh gosh, the giggles window. Here we go. Alien, Black, White, and Blood Treasury Edition. Now, how much bigger is a treasury than a gallery? I don't think I know off the top of my head.
Give me a second and I can show you. So I'm gonna go off camera real quick. Give me a second and I'll show you a comparison.
Jake, tell us your history in Alien, how you love
I'm gonna be honest
because of Romulus.
I like Prometheus, Covenant, and Romulus more than the original, but I've never seen Aliens. I just feel like Alien takes so long to get going.
So Alien, love the. Oh my gosh, Chris, that was way faster than I expected.
I know.
Let's get you a little solo layout.
All right, so this is Treasury Edition. Treasury Editions by Marvel are soft covers but oversized like this.
Okay.
And so here's a gallery edition to compare it. God Loves Man Kills. And let's see if I get this right. It's a little Treasury. Spine-wise, they are about the same in the sense of length at that point. But as you see, the gallery is just a little bit longer.
Is it? I have a couple galleries, but to confess, I don't think I've ever opened them.
But height-wise,
do they go all the way
same.
to the side on galleries? There's like a little bit of a border. It's not like an absolute where everything is, right? Like, is there like a gap?
What do you mean gap?
Like, does the image?
I think he's
take up the
asking if
full
there's
page,
a border on the page itself.
On the pages, no. I mean, not on at least God Loves Man Kills. No.
Okay, but on some of the gallery editions, there is a border, right? Like if it doesn't scale correctly.
It could, but I don't have that. The God Loves Man Kills is the only gallery I own. So
it could be potentially that like Golden Age, Silver Age comics are in a different size format compared to like the Bronze and Modern Age.
Okay.
So that could be part of it.
I think we all need a light week.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like I said, I'm not kidding you. Next week's definitely got some hitters next week.
So is a gallery edition the more premium format? I guess is my question.
Gallery edition is going to be hardback. Treasury editions are not going to be hardback. So you're still going to if Treasury, again, it's same as Gallery, just same height, a little bit shorter than Gallery, but it's just not going to be hardcover.
Is My Peach Momoko like Marvel Demons or whatever that book? Is that a Treasury or is that different?
Well, where I
It's
don't
in
know
the
what
other
that
room.
Go
I'm not
grab
gonna
it.
grab.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna. I
Oh.
don't even know where it is.
Until I see it, I can't tell you. So
Okay, so what is this another anthology where it's like different writers for each issue, or
yeah,
Mhm.
this has been Marvel's been doing this with a couple of characters. They've done it with
they
Darth
did
Vader.
Vader? Yeah,
They but yeah, so Black White and it's anthology. It's different creators coming on board, doing different vignette stories in the Aliens universe. So I Jen's talking in the chat. Haven't read any Aliens since Dark.
there's a couple crossovers, right?
Um,
Where it's
the
like
main,
Aliens versus something.
they're doing that right now. They have Alien versus Avengers, but like the anthology series, since Marvel picked it up along with Predator, I've really enjoyed. Like I'm a big fan of the Aliens and Predator franchises, and I've had a good time. Some of the anthologies have been a little bit stronger than others, but I can highly recommend it. It's worth a read if you've got Marvel Unlimited. You can definitely check it out, but it's they did a good job finding the writers and the creating team to really respect both the Predator and the Alien lines when Marvel picked it back up. So I've enjoyed it.
Heck yeah.
Sweet.
Have you read any of these stories yet, or?
I have. I'm personally, the Black, White, and Blood is not necessarily my tempo. I read it because
Yeah.
I like the characters. I know what they're trying to do with this kind of, gimmick, as I will say. But it's you give me a good character, I'll look at it. But this is not something I'll be picking up because it's just not my thing. I will collect.
If you could make a Black, White, and Blood of any Marvel Disney property character, what would be your ultimate Black, White, and Blood edition?
Either Deadpool or Wolverine.
Sick.
Mhm.
Or both.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's move on. Here we go. Probably the one
Hey.
we're all excited for.
Yep.
Daredevil, The Man Without Fear by Bendis, Volume 2. Which I love. It was long before I ever read a DC Omni. This and Alias were the first three Omnis I've ever read in my life. And when I decided to collect Marvel, the first Marvel book I bought was Miracle Man, or Marvel Man, whatever you want to call it. And then the first thing I bought after that was I out of print bought the Bendis ones. So, oh my God. Bat Kato, Steamboat Willie, Black, White, and Blood.
Have you seen the first image of Steamboat Willie that they're doing?
I feel like you need to send me the chat in the private thing, and I'll show it.
I'll have to find it. It's pretty horrifying.
Are you referring to the movie that they're coming out with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm super hyped for Volume 2 because I got Volume 1 when it got reprinted, so I've been waiting for this one to come out.
And this isn't the one with the misprint, right? That was Volume 1, so we had nothing to be mad about this one.
There's always something to be mad about this. Come on, man.
I have a weird misprint in one of my Bendis Daredevils where it has like, ever get those pages that look like a triangle on the corner of a page?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel like you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about the cut lines. It
Yeah.
it doesn't do the cut line properly, so then it has like that little
I've had that
page.
Yep, I've had that a few times.
Okay,
The Preacher I bought off of you had that, and I still bought them off of you.
I didn't even know. Did I know? Were they sealed when I sold them to you?
No.
But yeah, I mean, this is I can't remember how many times. This has definitely not been its first new printing at that point. But yeah, as you know, Twisted Same been waiting on this for this DD. Yeah, I mean, it's Bendis, then you follow it up with Brubaker, following it up with Soul, following it up with all this stuff. But yeah,
Curtis, I just opened the link to the Steamboat.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
Oh my
Jake's gonna share it now so everyone can see exactly the Steamboat Willie first look.
That's
at
horrifying.
For the uninitiated, we know characters come into public domain. So what people need to understand is Mickey Mouse did not come into the public domain. Steamboat Willie came back, this iteration of the character has come into the public domain.
Winnie
And
the Pooh
so
without
what
a
the
shirt.
big joke has been is that the horror genre picks it up. So people have talked about it a couple weeks ago. I remember on the Q&A with Near Mint Condition with Omar, talk about how like Batman, Wonder Woman, all these different characters are going to come in. What's DC going to do? They are certain iterations of the character that DC is not looking to renew that version of the character. So this is one of those that, yes, DC's not losing, and Batman itself in its current iteration is going public domain. It is not. It is just a certain iteration of said characters.
I like how all my pop-up ads are my company.
That's funny. I didn't even see that. Yeah,
dude, my pop-up ad was The Wiz Live.
Love that show. It's a good show.
So I don't know what cover Jordan will get, other than that there's a slight rip on the dust jacket. But which one do you hope it is, Jordan?
I hope it's the first one. I like the direct. Wait, why do we have standard on both?
Oh, sorry.
That's the direct market, right?
That's the direct market.
Wow!
Yeah,
I thought I worked
one.
with a consummate professional. I'm just
You do.
kidding. So Twisted Kisser's been waiting for this. Now, Jordan, here's the thing. Are you gonna read it before you get the Brubaker books? I feel like that's the 4 you need to have all the same boat.
If you hit refresh, it fixes it. We don't want people to think that.
It's okay. I think we're fine. Chat, let us know which cover do you like better. And I just don't want to go out refresh.
Yeah.
It's like
I like the first the DM cover, but always will go with the possibility of the main colorist and artist. That I would go standard for me.
My thing,
the DM's cool.
I just want a Brubaker where the spine matches the other Daredevils. Have you seen?
Did you get your custom one?
No, but I should hit up our friend. Here, let me show you.
There's no such thing as dead air live.
Never.
I'm singing on the middle of this.
So my 2 Bendis and 1 Brubaker have like that writing. And then my Brubaker, one of my Brubakers has this white font that's completely different. And that bothers me.
Don't. All mine completely match from my Bendis's match and my Brubaker's match with each other. Wow, that's sad.
Isn't that terrible?
You should complain to someone about it.
Yeah.
I will say though, I like a smaller Omni. I've grown to like a smaller Omni. Like the Zdarsky, Mark Wade sizes are perfect for me. Kind of feel like the Brubakers could have been 1 volume. I'm just saying that out there.
That volume 2 was surprisingly small when I remember getting it.
So that is that. And now this is awesome. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for more people to read this for the first time. This is DC's finest Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters.
Yep, this is the beginning of Mike Grell's illustrious run on it, which I'm not alone when I say this. This is my favorite era of Green Arrow, because I liked how Mike Grell, in just the beginning of this, takes literally Ollie and puts him in a situation where throughout the run he is only referred to as Green Arrow once, because that was one of his things. Like, he will not be called the Green Arrow. He'll be called other things. He'll be in the costume, but the idea of him going to, and how Mike Grell even took like rip from the headlines crime things and put it into his genre. I mean, his entire run is collected in 2 Omnis. I've had the pleasure of meeting him twice. I've had the pleasure of interviewing on my former show, World's Finest True Believers. Mike Grell is definitely one of those who, if I see his name on something, it's an automatic blind buy. I don't care. His art and his writing is outstanding.
Guys, do we think this is going to be 4 trades to complete the run? Right? I feel like
I don't know, because I
feel like more to collect.
Yeah, I also feel like with some of the finest, they'll throw other things in that like you look at the Wonder Woman one, it had other things that weren't in the Gail Simone omnibus. So I don't know if there'd be more crossovers or something, but I I always loved when him and the Question team up. Those are like some of my
Mm-hmm.
favorite issues.
But yes,
Yeah.
if you want a good jumping on point that you don't need to know, I mean, it's the first volume of this for Green Arrow. This is a great place just to get a taste of what peak Green Arrow was back then.
Do you like the story or the art better?
It's hard. They go one in hand because I think the way Grell writes at that point, the art itself imitates what it needs to do in the grittiness and the darkness that he does with Green Arrow.
Jake is typing up a document.
I know, it was about your book order.
Tap.
So you're welcome, Jordan.
Thanks.
Um,
Is it 70s or 80s? Which is a question from Jens.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Also, Bacado's right.
87.
Grell Green Arrow's peak, go green. 87? Cool.
87.
There you go.
August of 87 for 3 issues started the run.
Oh, James is giving us a correction. All right, one.
What's he looking for?
80s.
I can't click the link.
But I can copy and paste.
Yep.
Copy and paste.
Oh, the cover has changed. Gotcha.
Okay. I feel like we'll be okay.
I'll tell you what, though. Jane, thank you for that. Covers change and people don't say anything, so thank you for putting it out there. I like this cover better than what they chose. Not a bad choice that they changed it to. I like this better, though. This is more iconic.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, sick. What would you say if you could pick the next run for the DC Finest for Green Arrow? What would you pick?
I would then move on to the Kevin Smith. I jumped to Kevin Smith.
I bet you're pumped for that Omni this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very impressed that they decided to finally do it. So
yeah.
Let's see, I've never read this before, but I know how it ends, and that's the issue. So, because I know where the Kevin Smith one picks up from.
Yes.
And saying the beginning of that is a spoiler for this run. So
yeah, we'll keep that close to our chest.
Yep.
Moving on, Iron Man Stark Wars. This is a trade paperback, Epic Collection.
Yep, Epic Collection. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ooh, Windsor Smith on this though.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I think it's time for us dramatic reading.
For dramatic reading, yes, we get occasionally these. They call me to do this every so often. All right, it's time for the Armored Avenger to start avenging. What a great way to start it off, like saying, Tony Stark is back in the groove as Iron Man from outer space to the ocean depths. But the new Stark Enterprises is on constant supervillain alert, under attack from familiar faces like Spymaster and new threats of the Eternal Ghost. But when Tony discovers that his technology has been stolen and abused, he declares war on anyone in the armor. Not bankruptcy, war. Iron Man's new ruthless streak brings him into conflict in the U.S. government, S.H.I.E.L.D., and the Avengers. And as actions grow even more extreme, he must battle an old friend in a new guise, Steve Rogers, a.k.a. the Captain. By the time the dust settles on these new armor wars, the world might need a new Iron Man. Collecting issues 215 to 232 and annual number 9.
So first off, Labruski, I think Baltro or oh my God, I can't believe I'm not saying it. When that first came out, it was like when I first got my Steam Deck, I played that nonstop for like 3 weeks. And it is insane how addictive that game is. And I can't believe now you can play it on the phone and the Switch. Oh my God, that game is fun. And I know it's not poker at all, but I've never played poker before. So I didn't even know how to play like the core mechanics of that thing, but it is so addictive.
Jake tried getting me into it.
He tried to get me into it too, and I said no.
Once I stopped playing it, I have never gone back. So that's just how my brain works. And this is Twisted Kisters, one of their wanted omnibuses because it's some of the first comics they remember reading.
Yep, Silver Centurion. That is the armor. Which armor do you think it is there, Jake? Let's see how good you are.
I think you're tricking me, and there's more armor hidden behind the moon.
That's obviously the Mark 8 and the I have no idea, man. I own a couple of Iron Man issues. I've never read them.
It's the one in the red and the silver. I'm not tricking you.
There we go. Windsor Smith only does one issue, but it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I've never read an Iron Man comic, and I don't even know where to begin. Is there even an Iron Man omnibus that's like considered like I did my video on what I thought was the most quintessential Omni for each Justice League member. I wouldn't even know where to begin with the Avengers.
I mean, what I've said this to others. I would start, if you want to start a place for modern Iron Man, I would do Extremis.
Okay.
I would do that. I would look at Agent, when he was part of Shield, so Director of Shield. Iron Man Director of Shield is a good place to go as well.
Yeah. Okay. Doctor Strange. Marvel Masterworks Doctor Strange Volume 11. So, as the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange protects our dimensions from threats we can hardly comprehend. What happens when things keep those terrors at bay? What happens when the things that keep those terrors at bay, his many mystic tools and protections, his Sanctum Sanctorum himself, are gone? A gauntlet of Mephisto, the demon Kot, and the frighteningly powerful alien sorcerer Uthrona send Doctor Strange on the run. He must find a way to repair his mystic cloak and survive death itself to save our realm, or Uthrona will triumph and unleash the unfathomable upon Earth. Is that a character, or do they just mean unfathomable things? Also featuring the quest for Topaz's soul. It's a stunning Doctor Strange graphic novel with many rare stories.
Okay, so I have read part of this. This is some of these issues are collected in the Danny Ketch omnibus. Ghost Rider Danny Ketch.
Yeah, if you go to the Lex Tide, it'll tell you what's in it.
Oh, there we
Collects
go.
Doctor Strange 74 through 81. Marvel graphic novel number 23 and material from Strange Tales 1 through 3 and Marvel fanfare 8 and 31.
Looks like we have a misprint on the title.
Oh yeah,
it's okay. We know this is the
Oh, you
DM.
don't need to fix it. Chat. Tell him he's doing an amazing job. Everyone, let's all say one nice thing in the chat about Chris Balga. There we go. Savage Avengers.
Okay.
We had more to say. Jordan, what did you think about what you've read about this run?
It's
the out of context ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the art inside of the book, beautifully drawn. And if you never read Doctor Strange, I was able to read the tie-in issues with absolutely no problem, and it does have to do with getting Topaz's soul back from a demon. That's all I gotta say.
What is Topaz? What's their power?
What is he? I'm trying to remember what her power is right now. Is that she has the demon's power? So she got tricked into a deal where she accidentally gave up her soul, but she's able to channel the demon's power every so often, which is the same within the mythicism of Doctor Strange. She's like a sorcerer herself, kind of, at times.
Cool. Is that? That's not Hulk on the cover, is it?
No,
I can't see.
I saw like ripped jeans and green. It's just like a green. Let's go back to the other one. Oh my god, dude! When it was all tiny, I saw the black hair and the green like chest with ripped pants. Okay, that's all I wanted. Okay. Oh my god, I'm messing this up. Savage Avengers. I sold my Savage Avengers Omni.
Gotta be honest. Shame on you.
I will definitely be picking this up to continue the run.
And then you have this, isn't it? Isn't the omnibus everything?
Well,
is it?
James.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right.
You're not wrong, James. You're not wrong. Thank you for the compliment.
Chris Balga does have a better voice than Jake.
Oh yeah.
I'm told that multiple times every day.
Why do you think they have me here?
Yeah.
Besides these dashingly good looks.
So talk to me. What is this about?
Well, it's a continuation of Jerry Duggan's run from Volume 1. You've got the team of Conan Barbarian, Wolverine, Black Widow, Hellstrom, Brother Voodoo, Magic, and more against Cullen Garth. And when the Ancient Evils plan involves the international drug trade, you can bet on Punisher crashing the party. I mean, you got to have Punisher. I mean, it's without Savage Avenger, without Punisher, what do you have? You got nothing. But what
Can I ask a
brings the
Punisher
Black?
question really fast?
Yes.
Can I? Do you think if Daredevil is too violent for my wife and she's trying to get through it, what's the likelihood that Punisher TV show would be too violent for my wife?
It won't be too violent for her whatsoever. She needs to experience everything about it. And if I were to rank the series together, it goes Daredevil, Punisher.
Above Jessica Jones season 1?
Well, we're talking about one season. I'm just talking about the platforms itself. Jessica Jones would be third.
Okay, I didn't like the other seasons of Jessica Jones, but season 1
Not many people
adore.
did. First season, yes. First season is outstanding. Fully agree.
Primer with some Ennis Punisher Max. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't think she'd read that. But you know what? I think it's the sounds that bother her the most. So it's like the snapping of a bone. So maybe a book would be okay.
Speaking about bone snapping,
you could do the sounds of snapping of the bone. See if she reacts well to that.
Speaking of bone snapping, Savage Avengers is absolutely savage. I've read it. My goodness, are you in for a treat if you like all those characters like Wolverine, Punisher, Conan? They do not hold back.
No, Jerry Duggan's good at what he does with this stuff, and when it comes horror and violence at that point, yeah, he doesn't hold back. So,
heck yeah.
But we got our last book coming up.
Astro City, Metro Book 6.
Where's that
I hope the Opus edition comes out someday.
It will. I think it will. I mean, that's B6. That's B6 baby. Yeah, I fully believe it will.
My last messages with him were just that he wishes he could try to help push the book along further, but he's just suffering from debilitating migraines, so not something he has the bandwidth to do right now.
But it will happen. But you get the Metro books to hold us over in the meantime. So
what is I know nothing about Astro City. What's the pitch? Just like the elevator pitch.
I would say the elevator pitch is basically I think it's a more stylized and much more an adult, and I don't mean it like in the sense of like violence and nudity or anything like that. I think it's a more adult look at superheroes. You know, it treats them like not more than just like fighty, punchy, shooty, you know?
Who's that dog that's flying like a rocket?
It's been so long.
You
can make up the name. You can make up a name. You make up the name, Jake. You're good at this.
What breed of dog do you think that is?
I can't even tell. He's so tiny on my screen.
What's that old superhero, the Rocketeer? So it could be like the Wolfeteer.
The Wolfeteer.
Oh, I like it.
The Rottweiler-teer. Chat, what's that dog's name?
Astro City's about the heroes of the city. Really good.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that dog an X-Men though? I don't know. Is there a dog X-Men? Don't tell me. Don't ruin it.
Is it an X-Men or is it the dog from Astro City Metro book? I don't know.
Or is it a Legionnaire? You know,
or is it a Legionnaire?
Low-key, that dog looks like me after I ate that Carolina Reaper chip.
Or is it an Inhuman?
All right, what do you think our book of the week's gonna be?
Well, I know
I recuse myself. I don't have a book. You know what? The book I'm getting shipped to me this week is the DC Style Guide. That's what I'm picking as my book of the week.
that finally exists. I will choose DC Finest Green Arrow. If I were buying it, if I needed to buy it and I didn't have the Omnis, I'd buy that one.
Are you gonna buy a copy of it so you can loan it out to friends and get them started without having to touch your Omnis?
No, because I'll just direct them to DC Universe Infinite.
Oh, which big news! Can I tell you guys some big news?
What?
DC reached out to us and they want us to do a video on DC Ultra. And I'm like, hey, I kind of already did a video on DC Ultra. Does that count? And they go, no, but we'll give you DC Ultra for a year if you do a video. And I go, I already bought it for a year.
Do I
And
get
she goes,
a refund?
And she goes, oh, let our techs figure out if we can stack the free year for you.
Yes.
And yeah, that's dope. So
That's awesome.
I was looking through the requests though. Some of them were I have to mention in the video that it auto renews. Like that's one of the rules.
It does.
So
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, I'm pumped for that though. It's just like, how do I differentiate? How do we make it different than my last video?
Don't watch your last video and just do what you do.
That's and she said legally I'm not allowed to get in the pool for this video like I did in my last one, just for insurance. I'm just kidding.
That was fun B-roll to take that.
Yeah.
I got wet for y'all.
Jordan, since Jake is recusing himself, what book would you choose this week as your book of the week?
Oh man, mine's a go-to, and I think Jake already knows what it is. It's 100% Doctor I'm just kidding. It's Daredevil by Bendis. Highly looking forward to both owning Volume 1 and Volume 2 and getting to read Daredevil that's not about Stiltman. So
I have a sad update though. I said, awesome, did you want to toss the damaged Bendis in? And he goes, I don't know where it went. I'll get more soon.
My Bendis book.
No.
Yeah, sad days.
Well,
but what a show today, guys. I feel like we learned, we laughed, we loved, we lived. I still don't know the dog from Astro City.
I died a little inside,
I died. Every week we just lose a little piece of our soul to the live stream.
Well, Jake, tell people how they can follow you.
Don't really like his name. Or maybe this is it. G-Dog. G-Dog is a fusion of a small-time crook and a corgi.
Okay.
Can we change Omni Dog's name to J-Dog? Just Dog.
I guess he is Jess. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everyone, this was a blast. To let us know in the chat what or comment down below after this video has gone live. Let us know what book you're most excited for. And remember, you can pick all of these up at our sponsor, Organic Price Books, where I guess only other news, there will be a Ask Me Anything live stream with JP and some special friends on Monday. And we'll be here next week, I believe, with our friend Illuminati. That'll be in 2 weeks. I gotta look at a calendar. I don't know dates. But yeah, this was fun. Where can they find y'all?
Go ahead, Jordan.
Well, you can find me right here on the Brave and the Boys YouTube channel. If you're watching here on the Brave and the Boys YouTube channel, I always forget we stream to 2 additional channels or platforms. But yeah, come check out all our videos. We love putting the time and effort into them. So, I mean, they're phenomenal. We make great listicle videos as well as some in-depth videos as well.
And why didn't we film yesterday? Jordan said he would be over Friday to film, and he said no.
How many hours were we in meetings together?
So Jordan had his first day on the marketing team because now they let him on the marketing team Thursdays and Fridays, and Friday was his first day working from home on the marketing team. And he didn't realize how exhausting remote work was when you just go from meeting to meeting to meeting and never actually get to make progress on your projects because you keep meeting about the projects you should just be working on. And that's my life.
Yeah. But yeah,
Chris, where they can find you at?
You can follow me on all the socials at Chris Balga, and you can, again, check out my show, Marvel Alliance, on the Geekverse Podcast YouTube channel on Thursday nights at 9:10 Eastern Standard Time, or you can just search for Marvel Alliance in any of your podcatchers of choice. This week, my co-host David and I did a huge breakdown of the Daredevil Born Again trailer and looked at an interesting new casting coming for the Vision Quest series that is giving us a lot of head scratching. So check it out. And we will see you all next week.
Keep reading and stay brave.
another successful week, gentlemen.